Should you be buying investment real estate right now in Scottsdale, Arizona, or anywhere else in the Phoenix Metro? Today, I'm going to tell you where my investors are finding success, what types of homes they're buying, where they're buying them, and we're going to do it right now. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Todd Co, founder of Phoenix Homes and Hotspots right here in beautiful, sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. Hey, if it's your first time visiting the #1 real estate resource here in the state of Arizona, and you want to know everything there is to know about the great homes, the beautiful communities, and the top hotspots that surround them, all you have to do right now is subscribe to our channel, then punch that bell. That way we can notify you every time we create new great videos here on Phoenix Homes and Hotspots. Now listen, we're constantly getting new calls from around the country and from around the world, people asking for more area information. They want more information on Scottsdale, Arizona. They want more information on the Phoenix Metro. They want Scottsdale Neighborhoods, Communities, and Hotspot tours. So if you're moving to Scottsdale, Arizona, or the Phoenix Metro, or thinking about moving to Arizona, all you have to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. That way we can be your key to AZ. All right, so today we're going to talk mostly about investing here in Scottsdale, Arizona, but I do want you to know that I have clients that are finding success all over the valley. So some of the other areas that they're looking at are in the East Valley. You have Chandler and Gilbert are two really big cities down there. They're investing down there primarily because there's an influx of families based on the great school districts, Chandler being #1 in the Phoenix Valley, and Gilbert being #3 in the Phoenix Valley. So a really big influx of families going down there. You also have big companies like Intel and some tech industry down in that area that drives a lot of families and CEOs and that type of thing, or mid to upper management type of folks down in that area. Now, if you move over to the West Valley is known for affordability. You also have Luke Air Force Base, so there's a lot of housing needed around Luke, and it's also known for a lot of the growth and infrastructure. If you move up to the North Valley is very well known for its prestige. Homes tend to be a little bit newer, also a little bit pricier, but also known for some of the peace and tranquility that you get up in the desert foothills of the North Valley. And then you have retirement communities all over the Phoenix Valley. So you have areas like Sun City in the West Valley, or Sun Lakes in the East Valley. And you have literally retirement communities everywhere because of the weather and the affordability. We have a lot of snowbirds that come out. So you have a lot of different types of areas that you can rent in. But again, today we're going to focus on Scottsdale. And the reason I'm going to focus on Scottsdale is because 9 times out of 10, when people call me, the first place they ask about is Scottsdale, Arizona. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. You know, in most cities, you're going to find little pockets of hit and miss. So Scottsdale is a city that's 31 miles long, 11 miles wide at its widest point. It's a very large, spread out city. However, you really don't have those high crime, really dirty pockets. So this area is known for its cleanliness as well as really low crime. And if you look at Scottsdale as a whole, if you kind of lay it out from South Scottsdale, you have your older homes because it's closer to the downtown area, downtown Scottsdale and downtown Phoenix. As you start to get further north, the homes get newer. They also get pricier as you go north. So we're going to talk about 4 main investment types that you might take a look at where you could have success here in Scottsdale. First of all, though, let's ask the question, what should you be buying? Should it be a single family home, just a regular house, a townhouse, or a condo? The areas, it really depends. 9 times out of 10, again, we're looking at single family homes because most of my investors want the best appreciation. However, if you're looking for really affordable, in Scottsdale right now, you're going to pay for a single family home, you're going to pay anywhere in the older part of Scottsdale, or downtown Scottsdale, Old Town Scottsdale is what we call it. You're going to pay $550 to $700 is about what my clients are paying right now, depending on whether it has a pool, the square footage, how many bedrooms. And then as you get further north, my clients are paying anywhere from $750,000 up to $1.5 million. So it really depends on your budget. However, let's say your budget is under $300,000 or maybe even $200,000 to $250,000, you could still buy a condo in Old Town Scottsdale, right in the heart, literally the epicenter of entertainment, shopping, restaurants, nightclubs, literally right in the epicenter within walking distance to all of that stuff. And you can still own a condo down there for $250,000 to $300,000 and Airbnb that. So there's a lot of really good options, and it really kind of depends. But again, we're going to talk about those 4 main investment types here in just a minute. Okay, but before we get into that, what I want to do is I want to talk about the 3 types of homes, or 3 factors that you want to consider when buying a home for investment property here in Scottsdale. So the first thing that I'm looking at is I want it to photograph well. Whether I'm putting that listing on Zillow for a short-term or long-term rental, Airbnb, the Realtor MLS, or whatever that might be, I want to make sure that the photographs are on the money. So the first thing is I'm looking for lots of natural lighting that comes into the home, and the second thing is I'm looking for lots of canned or recessed lighting. So a lot of times when we're buying the house, we can tell by the pictures that have already been taken by the realtor if that home is gonna if it's gonna show well or not, if it's gonna show up well in photos. The second part of that is, if we can do it, we want to buy a home that's completely remodeled. We want these homes to look like model homes when possible. Think of yourself searching on Airbnb for a house. You're looking for a home away from home, and so having those upgrades and making it just look really clean, really bright is extremely important. The second thing that my clients are looking for is we want as large of a home as possible. So first of all, we want larger square footage when we can get it. This is all going to depend on the area. Old Town Scottsdale, the homes are going to be a little bit smaller, so we want as large as we can get, and we want as many bedrooms as possible. So if we're looking for a single family house, we want 3 or more bedrooms. In a perfect world, I want 4, maybe even 5 bedrooms. Condo, 2 bedrooms is okay, but again, the larger the better. And the third thing I'm looking for when I'm looking at homes to purchase for my clients is I'm looking for that wow factor. So we talked about a remodel earlier. That could be a wow factor, a home that's completely, almost looks like it's rebuilt inside. It looks like a model home. That's a wow factor. A signature pool in the backyard, not just a regular pool, but a real signature pool, one that makes a statement, could be a wow factor. A big, large yard in the back, maybe a big pie-shaped yard, 15,000 square foot lot is always a benefit. That could be a wow factor. The other thing that could be a wow factor would be maybe just the area itself, right? Just the location. However, I always want to match the location up with another wow factor, like a pool, or also a gourmet kitchen could be an example of a wow factor. So I want a great location and this amazing gourmet kitchen or a pool or whatever that might be. So that wow factor is the thing that's going to really sell that house and get us top dollar for our rental. All right, so our 4 most successful investment types here in Scottsdale right now that my investors are finding success with. Number 1 would be a long-term rental, meaning it's 12 months or longer. Number 2 would be a really short-term rental, like an Airbnb, something that can be rented out day to day, week to week, or even month to month. The third would just be a straight short-term rental. So maybe there's an HOA restriction that says you can't rent it by the day or by the week, but you have to rent it for at least 30 days. So a short-term rental would be something that would be maybe 30 plus days, 30 to 90 days. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then the fourth type would be a furnished place for that would be seasonal, typically more for the retirement community. All right, now I'm going to start with what I would say is the least popular with my clients, but still some of my clients finding great success with long-term leases. I define a long-term lease as 12 or more months. Now, as a general rule, the reason this is the least popular is because the cash flow can be a little bit less than the other options. Now, however, that all depends. If you find a great home in a great location with the wow factor, I have a client that just rented a home for 1.5 times what the market rent was because of that big wow factor in the back, which is a huge backyard and an amazing pool. So it all really depends. But again, as a general rule, when you're doing a 12-month lease, unfurnished, by the way, if you're doing a 12-month lease, that would be unfurnished, then your rent, you could expect to get a little bit less. Now, the great thing about leasing in Scottsdale is that you could buy anywhere. You could buy in South Scottsdale, North Scottsdale, Central Scottsdale. There's people leasing all over Scottsdale, where you'll see with some of the other investments, we want to get really area specific. So there's a great benefit there. And then a few other benefits that you have that go along with that is is, first of all, you don't have to furnish it. We talked about that. And then the second is that you don't have to manage it on a day-to-day, week-to-week, or month-to-month basis, because you have a 12 month or longer tenant in the property, so you don't have to overmanage it. People always ask me, is it beneficial to have a pool? The answer is yes. On a 12-month lease, if we can get it, doesn't happen every time, doesn't mean it won't lease, but I can get a nice premium and I can rent them a lot faster with those long-term leases that do have a pool. Doesn't actually even matter if it's heated or not, because since it's a 12-month lease, over those summer months, they'll get at least 4 or 5 months of really good enjoyment, even if the pool's not heated. So definitely having a pool is a benefit on the 12-month lease. All right, now next up, let's talk about my favorite option, and that is Airbnb. Now with Airbnb, first of all, yes, you need to furnish it right down to the silverware, so we know that. In fact, the next 3 options all need to be furnished. So we need to furnish it. We also want to be very specific with our location. So Old Town Scottsdale is the epicenter of entertainment in the entire state of Arizona. Best entertainment, shopping, restaurants, nightlife is all there in Old Town Scottsdale. So we want to buy something that's within walking, biking, or even maybe an electric scooter ride down into Old Town Scottsdale, because that's where people want to be. Could we buy Airbnb further north? Absolutely. They still work. I just really like, they rent really fast and really top dollar down in that Old Town Scottsdale area. Next question is, do we need a pool? The answer is, since it's Airbnb, the answer is it depends on whether it's heated or not. If the pool is heated, absolutely want it. If people can swim in it 12 months out of the year, we want that. Keep in mind, your best Airbnb months are January through April, okay? So those months, as a general rule, the pool is not going to be warm enough to swim in. So it's not going to be a huge benefit for you for Airbnb for those months. So what a lot of my clients do in that situation, if the house doesn't have a pool, or a pool with no heaters, they'll put in a hot tub. You know, spend $4,000 or $5,000, put in a hot tub, and that works really well in that anywhere, but in that Old Town Scottsdale area, we're finding a lot of success with that particular model. Now, what is the benefit? We talked about the fact that yes, you need to furnish it. Yes, we need to get a little bit more specific with the area. Oh, one other thing that we want to consider is homeowners associations. So in Old Town Scottsdale, since it's an older section of town, we don't have homeowners associations. If we start to move north and get into homeowners associations, we have to watch very closely for rental restrictions and regulations in those communities. They may say, hey, you have to lease this home for at least 30 days. That takes Airbnb kind of out of the picture. And then we go into what we're going to talk about next, which would be a short-term rental. But just talking about cash flow on an Airbnb, this is the huge plus. So think about the events we have here in Arizona in the springtime. We have the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and we have spring training, which are the 2 biggest draws here, January through March. I have a client that has a home in Old Town Scottsdale, 2,000 square foot with a pool, and that home rents during Phoenix Open. They're renting it for $5,000 a night. 4 nights, $5,000 a night, that's $20,000. And then during spring training, they're renting it as high as $1,000 a night, and that's almost 30 days of spring training. So the cash flow is really hard to beat with the Airbnb. That's why it's my favorite option. And we're going to talk about a hybrid approach here in just a few minutes, where you can Airbnb it and do some other stuff with it the rest of the year to make sure that that cash flow makes sense all year long. All right, now next up will be just a regular short-term rental. And when I say short-term rental, I'm talking 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days possibly would be more of a short-term rental. So really anything under 12 months, but typically a short-term rental from what my clients are doing is anywhere from 1 to 4 months. Now, who are the people that are renting short-term? You have a lot of people coming out here that they're either coming out for the entire spring, right? So they're coming out starting at the Phoenix Open or early January, right after the holidays, and staying all the way through March, maybe through April, so they want to rent those 4 months, and they'll pay a premium to do it. The other type of person is somebody that's coming out and they're buying a house, but they don't know where they're going to move to yet. And so those people typically, some people will do a 12-month lease, but most people don't want to do that 12-month lease. They want to buy, if they're able to buy, they want to buy before prices continue to go up. Of course, no crystal balls, but we know historically real estate goes up, and we know what the market's doing right now. So again, no crystal ball there, but most people don't want to wait 12 months to buy the house. They want to find it as quickly as possible. So those people are going to typically move into a 2 or 3 month rental. Maybe they're waiting for their new build home to be built, or they're just out home shopping and they need to rent until they actually find and close on a house. So those people are doing short-term rentals. Now, here's the hybrid approach, and here's my favorite way to do this. Remember, with a short-term rental, you're also going to furnish that, because people don't want to move twice within a few months. So you're going to furnish that for them as well, so they can move their stuff into storage or just come out out until their house sells. So the hybrid approach works like this. January, February, March, and April, you're going to do Airbnb, okay? You're going to do day-to-day, week-to-week. Obviously, the longer you can get those, the better, without sacrificing your price, right? So you don't want to rent in March and give somebody a discount when you could have gotten $1,000 a night and you rented it out for $12,000 for the month. So you have to manage that. But January, February, March, and April, you would do an Airbnb, and then the other 8 months out of the year, you would do the short-term rental, 2 months at a time, 3 months at a time, not exceeding December 31st. So we want to rent up until December 31st, but not go beyond that point so that we can start over with that great spring season again. So that's a fantastic hybrid approach that you can use between the Airbnb short-term rental and the other short-term rental. Now, the last is going to be age-restricted retirement communities. So this type of rental would be a seasonal rental. As a general rule, you're going to get 6 or 7 months rent from a retiree. Now, here's the thing: is that you know, here in Scottsdale, we have age-restricted communities, but not as many as you have throughout the valley. I prefer not to buy in an age-restricted community when I can avoid it. The amenities in age-restricted communities are really nice, but if I can buy a home in an area that still is amenity-rich for a retiree, but where the 5 months that they're not here, I can rent that out as a short-term rental, that's more ideal. Now, the risk is obviously, especially if you're buying in an age-restricted community, the risk is that you're going to have 5 months of vacancy. So you have to make sure that you get a huge premium, which you will, for the other 7 months, because it's going to be furnished and there's massive demand in those 7 months for really nice furnished rentals. But again, if we can find that house that is not in an age-restricted community, then we can still rent it out the other 5 months out of the year and continue to cash flow on it. So it's a great option. Typically, you're going to be looking a little bit further north in Scottsdale, up north of the 101, which is what I call North Scottsdale. You're going to be looking up in that area, because as you get further north in Scottsdale, your median home, your average age of residents gets older. So even though you'll have some retirees spend the spring down here in Old Town Scottsdale, a lot of those people, a lot of the seniors tend to like the peace and tranquility that they find up in the North Scottsdale area. So those are the 4 main rental types that my investors are killing it with right now. So what do you think? Should you be investing in Scottsdale, Arizona? Well, my clients say yes. The rest is up to you. Now you know all the facts, you know what you should be looking for and what the opportunity looks like here in the Phoenix Metro. Now listen, if you haven't already, do make sure you subscribe to our channel, then smash that bell. That way when we create new popular videos right here on Phoenix Homes and Hotspots, you're always getting updated. And if you have any questions at all you have to do is pick up the phone, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and that way we can get you all the information you need to make great investing decisions here in the Phoenix Metro and here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Now, check out some of my other popular videos right here.